Hello and welcome to the Wake Forest Summer Immersion Program's webinar. Today we'll focus on the Technology Institute. The Wake Forest Summer Immersion Program staff is on site and available now throughout the summer. I am Kyla Hollingsworth, the Executive Director of Pre-College Programs here at Wake Forest. Betsy Schneider is our Assistant Director of Pre-College Programs. Elizabeth Phillips is our Administrative Coordinator, and Donovan Livingston is our Program Manager. We all look forward to meeting you all this summer. For the summer of 2019, we will offer 18 institutes. We have programs in Winston-Salem on our main campus, as well as a few programs in Charlotte. Just to go through the list, I'll highlight the programs that are new for this upcoming summer, as well as programs that are returning. Our Biosciences and Engineering Institute is offered in Winston-Salem, in addition to our Business Institute, Dance, Debate and Public Advocacy, Documentary Film, Health and Exercise Science. Our Health and Wellbeing Institute is a new institute for the summer of 2019. Our Law Institute has moved from Charlotte to Winston-Salem, where we feature our law school. Our Leadership Institute, Medicine Institute, Neuroscience Institute is also offered in Winston-Salem. Our Policy and Politics Institute is a new institute offered in Winston for the summer of 2019. In addition to our Psychology Institute, our Sports Medicine Institute, Technology, which we'll feature today, as well as our Visual Arts Institute. All of those programs, yet again, are offered at our main campus in Winston-Salem. At our Charlotte campus, the Wake Forest Charlotte Center is in Uptown Charlotte, and we will feature a new institute focused in entrepreneurship, as well as our Medicine Institute, in addition to our Sports Marketing Institute. Moving on to what students can expect at the Wake Forest Summer Immersion Program. The Summer Immersion Program is designed to allow high school students 9th through 12th grade, in addition to incoming college students, the opportunity to spend 1 week at Wake Forest University and really dive into a particular career pathway. Students have the opportunity to connect with an academic leader, and today you'll meet the academic leader for the Technology Institute. And we will allow students to focus on daily field trips, fascinating course material, and really one-of-a-kind experiences where you get a taste of college life, in addition to having the opportunity to meet students from around the world that have like-minded interests and that are interested in learning more about Wake Forest University as well as a particular career pathway. But now let's focus on the Technology Institute. I'd like to introduce Paul Whitener. He is the academic leader for the Technology Institute and has devised and created a wonderful curriculum for you that he'll share more during the webinar. So, Paul Whitener, would you like to share more about your background and experience?
Well, thank you, Kyla. Thanks for having me today. It's great to be here. I'm very excited about our Technology Institute this year. We had a great first year last year here in Winston-Salem, and we're going to bring another great time for students to learn a little bit about technology. One of the things I want to focus on, Kyla, is looking at technology from the inside out, as opposed to, we all know how to use our laptops or our phones, but do we know how they work? How does that actually happen? What goes on behind the scenes? And there's so many things in technology today that come into our lives. I mean, pretty much everything, including toasters and refrigerators, they're all connected to the internet now. And so we want to try to teach students how that works and what are the implications of that. So those are some of the things we're going to be looking at, is technology from the inside out.
Great. Sounds like a wonderful plan.
So our dates for our institute this year are July 21st through 26th, 2019, and it will be here in Winston-Salem. It is a residential program, which means students will be living on campus. They'll be supervised 24/7. However, they will be spending time taking field trips as well as doing activities after we're done in the day. And our day typically goes from around 8:30 until around 4:30 or 5 in the afternoon. And that would depend on what we're doing on those particular days. So again, that's July 21 through 26 of this summer.
Great. Do you want to dive into some more of the highlights and the topics covered, as well as hands-on experiences to give students and parents a better understanding of what they can expect?
Oh, that would be great. You know, we're going to look at technology from the inside out, but how are we going to do that? A couple of things that we're going to be having students do is be very hands-on with technology. We don't want to just talk about it, and certainly students don't want to hear me talk all day. So we're going to present them with lots of hands-on activities. For example, they're going to be programming and coding using Raspberry Pi computers. If you're not familiar with a Raspberry Pi, Kyla, it's a $35 computer that is a full working computer. And it's designed to help students and adults learn how to program and how to connect computers to the outside world. So we're going to be coding, we're going to be making LEDs flash, we're going to be making distance measurements using sonar sensors. We're going to be doing things like using another kind of little microcontroller called an Arduino. And an Arduino is a purpose-driven type of microcontroller, very similar to what's in the cell phone of today. And we're going to be using that to simply measure the amount of moisture in soil. Well, that sounds like it might not be too hard to do, because you could stick your finger in the soil, but if you don't happen to be there to stick your finger in that soil, we're going to show students how they can actually write programs and code that will let them determine the actual amount of soil and the moisture content. So we're very excited about that. We hope to be heading out on a field trip to take a look at the technology used in auto racing. So people don't stop and think about technology as it's gone into everyone's lives, but the industry of NASCAR and IndyCar and Formula One racing actually is packed full of technology. It's quite amazing. They actually use all kinds of sensors on the cars, and we're going to be touring a plant near Charlotte that will let us take a look in depth of all the technology used inside of racing. And I think students will be fascinated at the amount of technology that all of the cars use these days. It's more than just watching a car go around a track now. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and even in the building of the race cars, it's phenomenal. And it opens up yet another area of technology that students can look at as they start planning their career path. You know, you don't have to just be a programmer sitting behind a terminal. You could actually be a programmer sitting programming how a NASCAR car or an Indy car is going to perform on the track. So there's lots of avenues to look at. And we're also going to take a look at the infiltration of cloud computing as it's coming into our lives. And so cloud computing is that somewhat obscure area where we go, well, we know it takes place somewhere. We know my data is stored somewhere. I've seen a commercial on TV about cloud computing, but what is it and what's put there and how are companies using it? So we're going to take a look at that as well.
Great. Well, it sounds like a lot that we're going to cover throughout the week, and having a daily field trip will get the students out and about and learning more about technology and how it's involved within the world.
Absolutely, and we're going to try to cover a lot of topics in addition to what we've talked about. We're going to hopefully discover a little bit about virtual reality, a little bit about robotics, and a little bit about the discipline of computer science and what does computer science mean at Wake Forest, and how is computer science affected by all of the various things that are going on in the world today.
Fantastic. Well, now we'll turn to some questions just to give parents and students a better understanding of, having their questions answered. So the first question that's come in, are there any prerequisites, Paul, or skills required to participate in the Technology Institute?
You know, Kyla, there aren't. That's what's so great about what we're trying to do here. We want to give students that think they might be interested in a technology course as a study the chance to come in and experience technology with no prior knowledge of programming or doing any of the things that we're doing. It's very important to us that we have very hands-on things that all students are able to tackle with little or no effort. We're going to provide all the code to the students so that they don't have to write their own code. They're going to type it in, and they'll learn because they're going to make mistakes in their typing, and they'll have to debug the code. And I've found that's a great way for students to learn. So no prerequisite skills required whatsoever.
Well, that's good to know. Thanks. The next question that's come in, if a student has more or less experience in technology, for example, if someone has more experience in coding or programming, how is instruction differentiated based off of skill level, as we may have some novice and we may have some advanced?
Absolutely. That is a great question, Kyla. So what we're looking to do is we've made it such that students that have no experience, they can type in the code, wire up the circuits we're doing, and be successful in what they're doing. And then if students happen to have a lot more experience and they've been coding for a while, we give them challenges. We make them go a step or two beyond what the other beginning students might do. And we also ask those students to help mentor those students that are not quite as experienced in programming, because there's nothing better to help you learn than to go and have to teach someone how to do something. And so we build that mentor-mentee program and that relationship with all of our students in the Technology Institute so that everybody can succeed and everybody can learn something a little extra.
Fantastic. Will the Technology Institute offer a session on gaming? I know that's a hot topic for a lot of high schoolers out there.
It is. It is. We are going to talk about gaming and the career paths in gaming. We'll look at some of the stuff that's being done in virtual reality, but we are not going to actually be coding any games simply because of the amount of time that it takes to code or game today. There are a ton of things that go into it, and we will touch on some of those things, but we won't do any actual game programming.
Mm-hmm. The next question, do students need to bring a laptop or any technology to participate?
Well, that's another great question, and the answer to that is no. We're going to provide everything the students need. We'll provide laptops. We'll provide all the hardware they're going to work on. There is one thing they do need to bring.
And what is that?
That's going to be a pair of closed-toed shoes. So some of the tours we take require that we wear closed-toed shoes because we may be on a manufacturing floor or we may be around heavy equipment used in building race cars. So we certainly don't want anybody to get hurt. So that'll be our only must-bring kind of thing is closed-toed shoes.
Well, that's good to hear. Safety first. So
absolutely.
We add that to their packing list as well. My last question, Paul, does the Technology Institute mirror the computer science undergraduate major at Wake Forest?
Well, in some ways it does, but in most ways it honestly does not. But let me explain what I mean. So the discipline of computer science in the strictest term is a programming degree. So if you're getting a degree in computer science at Wake Forest, you are focused very much on programming, and you learn a lot about programming, and we look at how we can program following our motto here at Wake Forest, which is Pro Humanitate, for humanity. And we look at how we can program things that make the world a better place. It's more than just about building the next big game. It's more about helping people. And that's a big focus of programming here at Computer Science. For the Technology Institute, we will touch on the basics of programming, and we'll be working in a language called Python. And that is also taught over in computer science here at Wake Forest. But we'll take it a step further with using a lot of hands-on hardware work. So we'll be wiring some circuits and we'll be putting things together. So that's a little bit different than what is normally done in a typical computer science department.
Well, great. Thank you so much for clarifying that for us. Is there anything else that you'd like to add, just as parents and students are shopping about summer and, experiences and ways to enhance their high school students' knowledge in technology?
Well, I would like to just let everyone know that if they have any questions, they can obviously contact you, but please feel free to reach out to me as well. My email is listed, and just reach out and ask the questions and let us answer those questions. And we look forward to seeing everybody this summer.
Well, great. Parents, students, if you're interested in meeting Paul Whitener as well as the Summer Immersion team and learning more about technology at Wake Forest, we do encourage you to submit your online application as soon as possible if you've not done so already. And if you do have any additional questions, feel free to email me or anyone else in the Summer Immersion staff and visit us online at our website, www.go.wfu.edu/SIP. Looking forward to seeing you this summer. Bye.